This wonderful human being literally needs no introduction at all, does she? But I will just give her a little one. And Sally, as we know, is best known for her long-running role in Coronation Street. Sally, is it 30, 35, 36 years you've been?
35 years. Oh my gosh, where has that time gone?
You literally don't look old enough. You were about 5 when you started. That has kept her so busy, obviously, over the last few years. And she's also a mum to 3 beautiful children, Phoebe, Samuel and Harriet. Some of you may have seen the amazing Phoebe on the Netflix phenomenon Bridgerton recently. Absolutely incredible. Sally's also known for just so much incredible charity work as well. Is it ActionAid, your charity?
I've done a lot of work for ActionAid over the years, and also Prevent Breast Cancer, yes, which is here in South Manchester in Wythenshawe, and it's an incredible charity. And of course, my heart goes out to that charity because this affects so many women. But yeah, that and ActionAid have been the 2 most important charities, really, that I've followed over the years.
Oh, amazing! And do you know what? You're going to see this over the next half an hour, guys. But Sally is just one of the most beautiful, genuine and caring people.
Oh, Leanne!
Oh. And then when we first decided to do this course, I kind of said to Phil, because obviously Phil worked with Sally on Coronation Street, and when we first decided to do this course, I kind of said to Phil, you know, who can we ask to kind of do an interview that's just full of positivity and energy? And you just went, Sally. He didn't even have to think twice about it. So welcome to our group, Sally. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Oh, thank you so much for inviting me to your very special group. It sounds amazing. I wish I'd kind of been part of it all. It sounds so good.
Oh, it's been wonderful. First of all, obviously the current situation that's going on, just how's lockdown been for you?
Well, you know, I feel really fortunate because we only stood down from work for 3 months, so I have had a bit of normality. You know, I've got a good support group. I've got my husband and my children. I've got a good network of friends. You know, I'm doing okay, so I really can't complain. But it's very, very hard watching the news every day. It does affect me, thinking about what other people are going through and how we can help other people. And we've never had such an amazing appreciation of our NHS. Which is a good thing that's come out of this. Is we really appreciate what they do, and but you know, I've done okay. Yeah,
good. I think everybody's faced, like, we all face obstacles in our life, don't we? But over the last 12 months, we've kind of been pushed together, and all these obstacles and hurdles have just been thrown at us all at once. And you know, do you have anything that helps you to cope with obstacles? Do you have any like go-to things that you use that help you?
Well, I'll tell you what I love doing, and if I'm feeling a little bit stressed or my head's full of things, I'll just go out for a run with my podcasts, and I'll listen to, you know, inspiring podcasts. By the time I've got back, I've completely forgotten what I was worried about. I feel a little bit healthier. I'm not a very good runner, let me just say, Leanne. I mean, I'm like, my father-in-law said, I saw you running the other day. You were walking. And I said, oh yeah, I do that. I do a little bit of a run and a little bit of a walk, but just to get out and to listen to somebody inspiring, you know, How to Fail, I love, and Happy Place, and, you know, all these wonderful podcasts that have actually seen me through lockdown, really, because you're listening to what everybody else is going through, and you can relate to everybody, and it kind of makes you feel a little bit better about what you're going through, that everybody else is going through the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I think just getting out in fresh air. I kind of signed up to do this 1,000-mile challenge in 2021, where you kind of walk, stroke, run. Mine is like yours, very much mostly walking. But I think just getting those headphones on and listening to something good, it just really re-energizes you. It's a really fab trick just to do, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's been I love doing that. It's been really good.
Fabulous. And you know what, going back to around 2009, you obviously had a storyline where you had breast cancer, and you were going through exactly the same situation in real life. I mean, that must have been so incredibly challenging. how did you kind of get through and navigate that? How did you cope with, you know, having to deal with it from both angles, really? And what stage?
Yeah, I think it's a really strange thing I went through, and I'm only sort of thinking about it now, sort of 11 years later. But I think I've got sort of a defense mechanism where I kind of didn't really believe it was me going through it, which sounds really strange. But I think it was because the character was going through it as well. And to find out that I had it at the same time was just unbelievable. I just couldn't believe it. And it's only now I'm looking back and going, gosh, I don't even think I've still yet computed what happened to me. But when life imitates art, it's a very, very strange thing, because the art came first, you know. So Sally Webster had it first. It was only a random checkup a couple of weeks into filming that story that I decided that I should have a checkup. So I still haven't really come to terms with it. I think I've put it in a little box, Leanne, and put it at the back of my head, which is, I think, sometimes the way I cope with things. Right. But, you know, because of that, I've met so many incredible people. Some of my best friends are breast cancer survivors, and I'm ever grateful to have met them and to be working with Prevent Breast Cancer, which is an incredible charity. I mean, you know, their hope is that the next generations of women won't have to contend with breast cancer the way we have. So it's really important that we do the preventative and about predicting who's going to get breast cancer in the future, which is, you know, it's quite a simple thing to do now. They can do that. It's just making people aware. You know, if you've got breast cancer in your family, or you can, you know, we can do so much to prevent you getting breast cancer in the first place. So it's been a real journey. I lost one of my best friends to breast cancer. That was really, really tough, because just because then it became real to me. It wasn't real before. It was kind of a story that Sally Webster had and I had, but it was going to go and I'd be fine and I'd be back to work. And then losing my friend was like, just, wow, I really need to, you know, I want to work as much as possible for this charity and make sure other people don't go through what she did.
Yeah. Gosh, wow, what a thing to go through. And obviously with your filming schedule on Coronation Street, I was reading earlier on that even through your pregnancies and the timelines of going back were incredible, and how long you worked into your pregnancy. And was that the same when you were going through this? Did you get some good time off to really take care of it, or did you just have to continue working?
No, I originally, when I first found out I got breast cancer, I said, I don't want to stop work. I'm just going to carry on. I think that was I like my routine. So that was my way of getting through things. It's just to carry on as normal, you know. But then when I realized I needed chemo, I did think I need to take some time off. This is ridiculous. Don't know what I'm doing. So I only took 6 months off. But for me, that was good, because I was desperate to get back to work. I wanted to be normal again. I wanted to see all my friends and chat and pick up the scripts and get excited about scenes, and I just wanted life to be how it was before this blip. Because I did say to the children, you know, when it happened to me, I said, this is just a blip in life and we'll get through it and it'll be fine. And I think the sooner I got back to work and got back into my routine, the easier it was for me.
Oh, that's fabulous. We've got some questions, Sally, from everybody in the group. My technology on the phone is not playing fair at the moment, because I can't actually see everybody's comments. So I'm just going to try and jump onto the group again and see if I can see everybody, and then we'll just head into the questions that everyone, because I like seeing everyone's love hearts and everything, but it's just not coming through. Anyway, we're going to leave it. Technology is our friends today. So we did have some lovely questions from some of the gorgeous people on our group this afternoon. So I'm just I've got all my pen and paper down the old-fashioned way. So there's a lovely lady on the group called Lisa Grimes, who was actually my boy's drama teacher at school, fabulous drama teacher. And she wanted to ask you, if you hadn't have become an actor, what other career might you have pursued?
Well, that's a really interesting question, because I think that her being a drama teacher, this is really important, because I was so inspired by going to this class on a Saturday when I was 13 that there was never any doubt that that's what I wanted to do, because I was so inspired by the teacher, and I thought, this is it, this is what I'm going to do. A lot of my friends, because I grew up in Oldham, a lot of my friends went off and worked there was a cigarette factory near me, and they paid £25 a week, which was quite a lot of money in those days. So, you know, some of my friends were going, what are you doing going to drama school? You could be earning £25 a week. So I do worry that I might have gone down that route. But I think when you're inspired by somebody, whoever it is, whatever teacher it is, and I've learnt that with my children, I'm sure you have with yours, when they have a teacher that inspires them, it does form a completely different idea in your head of who you want to be and what you're going to do and what you're going to enjoy. I always knew that I wanted to do something that I enjoyed, and I wanted to go down a route where I woke up in the morning and just loved what I do. I mean, now I love cooking. So whenever I go into, like, we've got some really nice healthy restaurants around here. They're not open, of course, because of lockdown. But I always think, gosh, if I wasn't working, I think I'd knock on and say, would you mind if I just, you know, peeled a few potatoes for you and learnt a few tricks.
Nigella, you could be the new Nigella, Sally.
I could, yeah. Because I've got a vegan in my family. I've got vegetarian, Tim's veggie, Phoebe's vegan, Sam's a meat eater. I vary from everything. So I'm always cooking so many different things that I think, actually, I can open a little cafe here.
Get that cookbook out for Christmas, Sally. I'll buy it. Oh, that's fabulous. So there's another lady on the group called Janine, and she's all the way from New York. She's joined us over this last weekend, and her question was, what storyline that has been on Coronation Street, which was potentially for another character, but you really wish it had been for you?
Well, that's a really, really good question. And I've been really thinking about this. And I think there's so many different stories that I would have loved to have played on Coronation Street. A lot of the comedy stuff I absolutely love. Tracy Barlow's character is great because she's so awful, and I love that. But I think, thinking about it, the story that's really, this year, that has really touched me is the Shelley and Jeff storyline of the coercive behaviour, just because that really is affecting so many people. And I think they played it absolutely brilliantly. There's no way I could have played it half as well as Shelley has done. But I think that was a wonderful, wonderful story told at the most perfect time. And I think, you know, when you get a story that's told at the right time and it comes from the character, not from, you know, trying to be dramatic or trying to get ratings, but it comes from a character, it's wonderful to see. I love that kind of writing. So I really, really have enjoyed that storyline, even though it's been quite traumatic to watch and be involved in. But the two of them were so brilliant. And whenever I was on the set with them doing that story, I was like, what a wonderful story this is. It's absolutely brilliant. I hope it helps so many people out there.
Yeah, definitely. And they do that on Coronation Street more now, don't they? They cover so many relevant topics and hard-hitting topics. I think, Phil's left back in 1999, 2000, and it wasn't quite the same back then, but now they do cover a lot more storylines that, real, true to life. So that's amazing. Another lovely lady called Sarah Worthington this is a really hard one, actually, because there's just been so many, and I don't know whether she means past or present with the cast right now, but who would you say has been your favourite character on Corrie? If you had to choose one.
Do you know, people always ask me this, and it's so difficult. And this is so difficult because, at different times, there's been different, Jean Alexander, of course, who is an incredible incredible character. Hilda Ogden was, iconic. So I felt very privileged to have worked with her back in the day. So she's probably the one person I would pick out. But we've had wonderful other characters along the way, like the Hayley and Roy. I love Hayley and Roy. They feel like your friends, and Mary and Tracy, and there's too many to mention, actually, because there's so many good good characters in Corrie. But I think, you know, having characters is really, really important, more than the storylines, really, because you just want to be involved in their lives, really, and see what they're up to, not necessarily, you know, anything dramatic, but you just want to see how your friends are doing on a Monday and a Wednesday and a Friday.
A prolific show, isn't it? I mean, Phil's been out of it for 20 years now, and going back to Julie Goodyear and all of those great characters, it's just like that.
Oh my God, I can't believe Phil's been out of it for 20 years.
Oh.
That's just, I mean, where has that time gone? Honestly, it feels like he was in last week to me. It really does.
Was he a rascal? He'll be listening in the other room.
No, I'll tell you what, Phil was great fun. He was brilliant. And, you know, we miss characters like Phil because he just always had a smile on his face and he was always being cheeky, which I really miss. Come back, Phil.
Come back, Phil. He's still the same Sally. I've just turned him grey over the last few years. That's the only thing that's really changed. He's still a naughty little schoolboy rascal. Right, so Joanna Lamb, who's also from Cheshire, she said she remembers actually meeting you one time in Hale Country Club when one of your girls had lost their phone or something, and it was near them, so that was her memory of you. But she wants to know, actually, a couple of parts of this question is, how did you get into acting? And the other question is, how do you feel about your children, especially your daughter now, going into the business that is show business?
So I got into it because on a Saturday I went to this club in Oldham, theatre workshop, and I knew instantly that was going to be something I had to do every Saturday. I loved it so much. And, you know, it's really funny because I met Tim, and Tim's mum was an actress. So she was with Joan Littlewood's theatre company back in the day. And she'd done, you know, a lot. And Tim's father died when he was very young, but he was an actor as well. So when Phoebe came to us and said, I really want to act, my mother-in-law was sat with us, and I said, oh, Phoebe, it's so hard. And Shirley said, oh yes, but they're the most wonderful people, Sally. She'll meet the most wonderful. And she's absolutely right. Actors are, you know, they wear their heart on the sleeve, and then I just love actors. So she was absolutely right. And you know, when somebody's determined to do something anyway, there was no stopping her. You know, she was like, I'm doing it because I love it. And how could I?
Absolutely smashing it.
Yeah, how could I stop her? You know, it's a wonderful profession, and and lovely people.
I think that it's a profession also that keeps you very young, doesn't it? It keeps, because you're around like really energetic, amazing, creative people. So you just see people staying a lot younger.
Oh, Leanne, that's so true. In fact, I was saying it yesterday because one of our makeup girls was 60 yesterday. So we had a drink in her garden, and we were saying we've all grown up together, and that, you know, they kept these young people coming through into our show all the time, you know, are keeping us all young. Yeah. You know, it's great. I love it. I love hearing what they're talking about, what they're up to, what music they're listening to, what books they're reading, what television they're watching. I think it does keep you young.
It does. Definitely keeps you young. So the next question, I'm so sorry to everybody who's live on the group that I can't see all your comments, but do keep all those like comments coming through, and I'm going to go through them afterwards when we get off this live. Jacqueline Halliday says, what advice would you give to your younger self?
Oh my gosh, that's the other really good question, isn't it? But I think that I was so insecure about myself. I didn't think I was good enough, and I didn't think things would ever come to me. And I don't know, I just didn't really believe in myself. And I think now I would say, you know, just be who you are and don't worry about the future, because it'll all fall into place when the time is right. And I didn't realise that when I was younger. I think I was just full of angst. Yeah. And now I'd just like to tell my younger self, it'll all be okay.
Totally. I mean, it's a great thing, hindsight, isn't it? But when you look back and you just think, all of the things that you kind of held yourself back from with that lack of belief, and you know, it's always worrying what other people think as well, which now I'm in a place now what other people think of me is none of my business whatsoever. And I think when you get to that point, it's like, I think you're probably supposed to go through that process when you're younger to actually then evolve to that point, aren't you? And it's just, yes, that's beautiful. Thank you. Lindsay, who's the lovely yoga teacher who's been bringing us yoga every morning, she wants to know, 2 questions from Lindsay actually. Who inspires you? And where's the first place you're going to go when this lockdown is over?
Who inspires me? Well, I think we've all been inspired at the moment by the NHS and nurses and the doctors. They've inspired me so much. I mean, just listening to them talk about their day and what they have to do and they're so inspirational, those people. I mean, and wow, I take my hat off to them. I think they're amazing. And then I thought of an actress, Julie Hess is one of my real inspirations. Whenever I listen to a podcast with Julie on, I'm like, oh, yeah, she's right. I mean, she's so brilliant and political and caring and thoughtful about the world and what the future is going to be. I really think she should be a politician because she's amazing. So if I'm going to say anybody, and I think the way she's handled her career, she left Corrie and she's gone on and done all these wonderful things. She's done so well that I think she's my inspiration.
Oh, I'm going to listen out for that. I'm going to find that podcast and listen to her. Thank you for the recommendation. I'm writing it down now. Fantastic. There's so many, like you said at the beginning, there's so many incredible podcasts and books and audios, and I think you've just got to just keep flooding your head, haven't you, with all those good messages and good vibes and good information. Sally Jane Redfern wanted to ask you, what have you changed regarding your health and fitness over the last few years? Have you kind of had to drastically change anything, or have you chosen to change anything?
Not really. I exercise quite a bit, which is good. It really keeps my mental health good. If I do an exercise class, I feel so much better afterwards, or go for a run. So that's been even more in the last 12 months with everything that's been going on. I've really needed to do that. Because my children are now vegan and vegetarian, of course that's changed everything. So now I'm not, I'm drinking oat milk and being quite healthy there, but not on purpose. I haven't changed, and it's just happened, because of certain events. Yeah, but no, I'm relatively kind on myself. Sometimes I'll just eat cheese and go mad and eat chocolate and stuff. But yeah, I think I know how much I'm eating and what I'm doing. Yeah. Try and hold back sometimes.
I think that's the best thing, isn't it? There's so much information out there, especially with the internet now, of different things that people are doing, and it's so hard to kind of think, well, I need to do that, and then you just get confused and do nothing. But I think it is being kind to yourself. It's listening to your body, knowing what your body needs and what it doesn't need, and just exercising and eating good stuff, filling your body with good nutrients, isn't it?
Yeah, and do you know the other thing? Sleeping, Leanne. I love sleeping. Oh my gosh. I get into bed with my book and if I've had a good night's sleep, honestly, you should see me in the morning. I'm like a spring chicken. If I've had 9 hours sleep, the things I can do the next day, honestly. Wow. Tim will get up and he'll say, how long have you been up? And I'll be, 2 hours. I've put a wash in. I've got dinner ready. He can't believe it.
It's funny because I was sharing with some of the guys on the group on Friday that the last week I found this, it's like a subconscious meditation that you kind of put on at night, and it helps to kind of break down any negative beliefs or anything that's not serving you inside that subconscious. And it's about 45 to 50 minutes long, and I've been putting it on. And about 15 minutes go into it, it says, now I'm going to talk to your subconscious mind. And I don't remember a thing after that. I'm like out to sleep like a baby. He could be programming to do anything, Sally. I don't know.
Wow.
But,
wow. You'll have to send me that, Leanne.
I will. I've been asleep the last few days. I'm like Tigger. So yeah, that's great. Okay, Martin Carrick. This is a funny question. I like this one. I'm excited for the answer on this one. Martin Carrick wanted to know, what's the weirdest encounter you've ever had with a fan?
Oh my gosh, there are so many different encounters. I've been trying to think about something that's really, it's usually when you're in somewhere like, Thailand or something, and somebody starts shouting Sally Webster. That's really strange. And then I got chatting to this chap at a party once, and I realised it was Gary Oldman, and he said, "I love Coronation Street. Oh my God, it's so good." Honestly, I was so like shocked. I was like, "No, you don't watch Coronation Street."
Everybody, sorry.
But it's lovely actually, because there's so many lovely people who, you might be in Sainsbury's and someone will just come over and say, "Oh, Sally, you want to watch that Kevin? You'll never guess what he's been up to, and that Tim's not good enough for you." And I do love that, because it feels like they feel like they're your friends, and it's really nice when people sort of interact with you about it, and it's good. Yeah.
Oh, it's I mean, like I say, Phil's been out 20 years and he still gets it now, and people tend to go up to him and say, "Oh, I went to school with you," or I did this job with you," and he's like, no, we didn't go to school together. Then it kind of clicks where they recognize him from. They're like, "Oh," and they get him.
Oh yeah. That happens all the time, that people go, "I know you, don't I?" And then there's this awful moment where you think, should I tell them I'm in Corrie? And I think, no. And then they're going, "No, I do know you." And then I go, "Oh, I'm in Coronation Street. Is that where it is?" And they go, "Oh no, I don't watch Coronation Street."
"Oh no, I don't watch that. No, it won't be that. It's somewhere else."
And then I think, "Oh, I shouldn't have said anything. I should have just left it."
Oh, it's so funny. Oh, we're coming to the end of our questions from the group. The last one is from Karen Birch, and this is a really hard one as well, because I've got so many different ones. But which song, do you have like a certain song that you can put on and instantly just takes you to that happy place where you can dance around and just like really just switch your energy straight away?
Oh gosh, there are so many, aren't there? Wonderful songs that you're listening to. I mean, at the moment in our kitchen, whenever Hattie comes down, my 17-year-old, she'll say, "Mum, should we play Hamilton?"
Yes.
And I'll go, "Yeah, put Hamilton on." And we're dancing around the kitchen. So at the moment, that's it. And I think as well, it's because I can't wait to go back to the theatre. So I love listening to that music, because I kind of feel I'm sort of at the theatre. So at the moment, it's Hamilton, the musical.
Oh gosh, there's some amazing music from Hamilton. And also, have you seen Anne Juliet?
Yes, that's so good, isn't it?
So good. I've seen that now. It's so good. The music is just fabulous from there.
Yeah.
Really high energy. One of my favourite ones, not a musical, is Wilson Phillips, "Hold On for One More Day." And it's never really been more apt than the last year. Just keep holding on for one more day. You've got it. Just keep moving forward.
Yeah, that's good. Oh, I'm going to listen to that, Leanne, when I get off this. I'll go and listen to
Wilson
it in the
Phillips,
kitchen.
you can do a bit of a drum solo to yourself in the kitchen.
Oh yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Keep walking down the motorway in Manchester, just full belting that quite often. So Sally, that brings us to the end, and it's perfect timing. Thank you so much for the last 30 minutes. It's just been wonderful to just have you here and answer all these lovely questions and be part of this incredible group. And I spoke to Lindsay after I spoke to you on the phone the other day. Every time I speak to Sally, I just feel like I've had this big hug. She's just like so refreshing and positive and beautiful. So I really hope that everyone on the group has felt the same over the last half hour. And I want to really apologise that I can't see all your comments and your love hearts. I know there's going to be hundreds and hundreds of them, and I can't wait to go through them all in a minute. But Sally, have an incredible rest of your Sunday.
Oh, thank you, Leanne. I've really enjoyed it. It's been lovely, and you're such a wonderful interviewer. Watch out the rain, that's all I can say.
Watch out the rain. I'll be running after Piers' job, although I don't think I'm as opinionated to get that job. But thank you so much, Sally, and I really look forward to seeing you for a coffee or a drink very soon.
That'd be brilliant. Me too. Oh, lots of love.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.